Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gorecom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, we're happy to have him back because every time we have him back, he's got something new and exciting in the drone space. Cam Shell, Chairman and CEO of Draganfly, trades on the Nasdaq under the stock symbol DPRO. It's awesome saying that. And on the CSC, still on the stock symbol DPRO. For those of you new to the story, but you've seen the headlines, you're probably wondering who are these guys. Here's what you need to know. They're established in 1998. They're considered the oldest commercial drone company in the world and builders of the first drone to save a life. But DPRO is not. Draganfly is not your recreational drone company. In fact, they're the creator of cutting-edge drone solutions, software and AI systems that revolutionize the way organizations do business. In fact, in a way of saying it, they take drones and supercharge them with great technology and do unbelievable things. As a result, they're an award-winning industry leader. They've got tier one clients, too many to name, but they're serving industries such as law enforcement, public safety, agriculture, industrial inspections, mapping, you name it. They've probably servicing it. More than just lip service, that's translated to great financial success. 2020 revenue, 4.4 million, up 216%. Q1 revenue, 1.55, up 210. Q2 1.9, up 114%, and they uplisted to the Nasdaq recently. They're hitting it out of the park. Cam, welcome back.
Thank you so much, George. I mean, it's just so awesome to always be with you. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and obviously your eye for great investments, because I follow your other stuff. It's always just so astute.
Cam, I appreciate that, and man, like I always say, you make it easy because I love the space. And I love what you guys are doing within the space to supercharge it. Here's the press release we're talking about today. Draganfly selected as exclusive manufacturer for Valkyrie drone delivery stations and receives a minimum initial order of $400,000. Okay, that it sounds awesome. It's all anytime you guys do something in drones, it always seems like it's brand new. So, who's Valkyrie? What's a drone delivery station? And what are they doing with these?
Yeah, sounds great. Valkyrie is an incredibly innovative company out of the southern U.S. On the East Coast. They have a drone delivery box, 21 plus patents, I believe, if I'm remembering from the engineering drawings and everything as we were scoping things out in this particular box. So imagine, if you will, an Amazon type box, you know, the type of thing that you would see in a grocery store.
Right.
But now this sits in a suburb, or it sits in an industrial site, or it sits somewhere where drone deliveries, where drones are going to be delivering packages. And a drone would bring in a package, and it either lowers it by winch or lands on it, or whatever the case is. It comes down into a main receptacle, it receives the package, right? And then it actually moves it over into the prescribed mailbox or drone delivery box for the particular person who has that box. And it's temperature controlled, so you can use it for pharmaceuticals, you can use it for food, you can use it for any number of things, and it's secure. And it's incredibly innovative. Now, these folks, they've been at this for a number of years. They're demonstrated leaders in the space. They have hundreds and hundreds of LOIs signed for delivery of these boxes. They have multiple dozens and dozens of contracts where they're delivering these. And so Draganfly is unbelievably honored. We worked hard for this piece of business, but we're unbelievably honored to be the global exclusive manufacturer. We'll also be managing much of their logistics for this as well. And I think it's just a real testament to what Draganfly does. We just don't build airframes. What we do is we provide total solutions, you know, right from design and engineering through logistics and manufacturing and our AI and our software. And you know, they came to us because we could turnkey a solution for them. And there are hundreds of customers that are coming to the tables.
Well, and I was going to ask you that. This seems like it almost seemed like on its face, like a bit of a departure from what we've seen out of Draganfly in the past, because the amazing solutions you've typically come up with in the past are you take a drone and George Calm says, hey, Draganfly, I need them to inspect the roofs of all the houses I've built, and you guys create great technology around it, great solutions, and you deliver an all-in-one. But usually it's around the drone. This seems like the first time, even though drones will be delivering, you guys are building a station, right? So does it seem like it's a bit of a departure, even though it incorporates all the skill and expertise you guys have amassed?
It's a great question. So where Draganfly has been positioning itself for the last couple of years is a drone solution provider. So we provide solutions into the ecosystem. So while we see a lot of the North American and actually global manufacturers or people in the drone space, focusing on, hey, what is it about the hardware? How do we build something that has longer battery life? How do we build something that can lift a heavier payload? How can we were doing that in the 90s and in the early 2000s. It's not about the drone. It's not about the hardware. It's about the end result of what the hardware does. And so everything that we do is really focused on an ecosystem to be able to provide our customers, whether it's somebody like Valkyrie or whether it's a sheriff's department or whether it's a railroad or whether it's whatever, and they're looking for a solution that drones can provide. We have a forestry company that comes to us and they want to do yield calculations for their inventory across, reserve lands that they've got and such. And so we provide a total solution using AI and LiDAR systems. And that's the difference, is where do companies go to actually implement what they want to do within the drone ecosystem. And so, of course, we have the facilities and we have the talent in the background to be able to manufacture these. We have the logistics understandings. It's because we've been around for 20 plus years is that we can do this. So we see this as a really important piece of what we can do for our customers, and hopefully we'll demonstrate to other customers as well, that when they're looking for a drone to provide a solution, or they're looking for a solution and a drone's involved, the company you should call is Draganfly.
And is there a week that goes by where, based on everything you just said, is there a week that goes by where you don't have a request for yet another amazing drone solution saying, hey, Draganfly, hey, Cam, we need drones to do this? It must be incredibly exciting. So basically what I'm asking is, how's the world of drones and drone technology? And is this the kind of innovation we can keep on expecting for years, not for the rest of 2021? I mean, just for years out of Draganfly, because everyone's coming to you for these solutions.
Yeah, that's it was really palpable about 18 months, maybe almost 24 months ago, where we went from an organization and me personally spending most of my time educating and selling to now, from an operational standpoint, I spend most of my time evaluating, what are the opportunities that are inbound that we're actually going to take? Who has customers, who's closest to market, who provides the best margin? What solution is potentially going to be a winner in the market overall? And so, yeah, it's not every week, it's every day. There are new, drone opportunities or, that come to us and say, hey, can you build this? Can you do that? And we have to be very selective right now about who and what we work with. And so it's a fantastic opportunity. And it's a really very, very privileged position for us to be in. But it's also incredible intel. I mean, what we see and learn every single week about what's coming and what's unfolding in this drone market is absolutely fascinating. I for the first time believe the estimates of the industry. For the last 20 years, I've seen, the drone industry is going to be billions of dollars and billions of dollars. And I'll be frank, I love the drone industry, but I was like, I just don't see the numbers. Certainly on the military side and in our military contracting, we can witness that. And certainly on the consumer side, you can see it, but that's not where we play. But in this, true industrial or, business space of medium to heavy drone applications, I just never saw it scaling. And so we saw a lot of companies go by the wayside. It's scaling now. It is absolutely scaling. Are we at an inflection point for the drone technology industry right now? Are we going over that hump where now it's, businesses like, look, I walk around my neighborhood and I think about 2 or 3 different kind of applications that that Draganfly could be building just for residential neighborhoods, from security, tracking pets, all sorts of things like that. Are we at an inflection point now, Cam, where the industry is about to really take off and just not look back? I think the point that the answer is yes, but the inflection point that we're at right now is that we're seeing the commercial use cases go commercial. Where in the last few years, we've seen commercial use cases get validation because the regulatory environment has said, okay, this is how you can work. And we started to see pilots and testing and bigger companies now get interested. And where we're at now is we're actually seeing those start to get to market. So, if I'm an investor, I look at this, I look at it, whether it was the internet or whether it's any number of other industries that they
Right.
have always taken longer than we expected, but they've always been 10 times bigger than we expected.
Yeah.
And that
Once
is
they
the
got
exact
there, they
same
surpassed
thing.
all our expectations.
Just unbelievable. And that's the exact same thing that will happen here in the drone industry as well. So I think now is the time to pick who the winners are going to be. I think, the last 5 years or 10 years, when people made bets in the drone industry, it was too early, right? It was just, the regulation wasn't ready. All the, the pieces coming together with economics and technology, et cetera, just weren't ready. And now is the time to pick those leaders that are going to win it. And I think we're well positioned.
Devil's advocate, how are you guys going to handle this kind of growth and all these opportunities? Because yes, you want to pick and choose which application can be the great ones, but it seems like so many are coming into you now. How do you guys scale internally as far as your tech teams, your biz dev, to everything that's required to grow? Because you guys closed a major financing, so you've got cash, but cash alone doesn't solve the problem. How do you make sure that you're not turning away too many GeorgeCom opportunities and things like that because you have to pick and choose? How do you start to scale?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. So certainly being Nasdaq is one of the strategies that we've been able to accomplish. Being well capitalized is another strategy we've been able to accomplish. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you need great people, and great people, right? And recruiting, at least from the experience I've had, comes from being able to have really exciting projects and keeping them interested, providing great career paths for our people to be a part of. And so we were able to accomplish such a strong engineering bench because of the innovative work that we did with our military contractors. We were working on things like, autonomous drones, counter drone technology, shooting out Kevlar nets and capturing drones and doing autonomous delivery of blood on the battlefield and, search and rescue mission. Things that really matter, but things that really attract great engineers and great management people to the table because the stuff that we do is meaningful. So when we look at the projects that we're doing, obviously, margin and scale are important to us, but actually looking at how interesting are they? What type of impact are they going to have? What effect can we use this internally to be able to attract great people to the types of projects that we're building? So while we certainly have a fantastic board, we have a lot of experience in both our board and our management team. So, we think we're well positioned there. As we fill in more engineers and as we fill in more middle management now, a lot of it really comes down to how interesting is it what we're doing. And so of course, margin and sales are important, but people are still the core of business. And so that's what we'll continue to focus on.
I am envious that you guys are in that position. I'm not just talking about the demand. I'm talking about the interest of projects that you get to select and pick. That's just a great way to wake up every single day. By the way, when we spoke both just prior to your Nasdaq listing and just after the Nasdaq listing, one thing we talked about was how being listed on the Nasdaq should really rev up biz dev, because now you're going to have a lot of companies who are maybe sitting on the fence saying, hey, those Draganfly guys, they're on the Nasdaq now. Let's go do business with them. Have you seen, I know it's early, but have you seen the Nasdaq listing itself turn into a bit of a biz dev leader for you, or biz dev catalyst for you?
Yeah, there's a couple specific examples that I would love to talk about, but maybe can't at the moment. But certainly, anecdotally, two things. One, the Nasdaq listings is really important to us. It's a great, credible organization, right? And it ensures that the people that we're working with know that we have an unbelievable infrastructure of governance and audits and transparency and all the rest of it. So a lot of those questions come right off the table as you're working with larger organizations to earn their trust, because we're dealing with some of their most sensitive strategies or their sensitive data and things like that. So that's very important. The other piece of that is having a strong balance sheet. And so they know that we can execute. They know that we can endeavor to go into projects with them and know that we can see them through to the end over the course of the long term. So having that strong balance sheet, and I know we were heavily criticized for the financing that we took down. In hindsight, the exponential results of that, because of what we're seeing in our pipeline,
Absolutely.
our sales will more than make up for it. You always hear it, always take the money, always take the money. And believe me, we were very, very perplexed whether we should have taken the money. And at this point, I can say I'm very glad we do. And we will see a boomerang effect, I believe, in our valuation because of it. And then, I mean, there's literally M&A opportunities, IP opportunities that are at the table where we just would not, listen, if we were still on a lower exchange or a private company or something, we just would not have that opportunity to be working on the type of stuff that we'd be doing. And so it's been absolutely fun. We haven't seen the exact result of it yet, but certainly over the next number of quarters, I think that we're, I know management's really excited about what's unfolding.
I want to make sure you had a chance to say that, because I know for a fact you don't get fired for doing business with a Nasdaq company at the end of the day. So I know that listing is for sure taking people over the edge and says, hey, we know they got the governance, we know they got the access to capital markets in case they need more money to do what they got to do with us. So I think that's awesome. Last question, going back to Valkyrie. This is a minimum initial order of $400,000, but you guys included some stats in the press release that said the global drone package delivery market is expected to grow from $1 billion in 2021 at a compound annual growth rate of 45.5% to about $4.4 billion by 2025. So there's no doubt that this industry is going to grow. Even though this is a minimum order and you may not be able to be specific, are there expectations for a lot more of this to come in the coming months, weeks, months, years?
Yeah, I mean, the interest in the Valkyrie box, and it doesn't take a lot of work to look back at their press and the types of organizations they're working with and that type of stuff to understand that this is a company that's all things being equal, has the potential to be selling hundreds of these units in a year. Now that's not the order demand yet. I don't want to overstate it, but that's easily the potential. And and they're sitting on significant orders as it is. So this is a very, very meaningful piece of business for us, both strategically and financially. And certainly, we see order sizes in the realms that we've maybe discussed here being very, very realistic with some of the absolute biggest names in the world. Circling and putting these types of orders in place.
I love hearing that. Some of the biggest names in the world. Cam, again, congratulations. I should just clip that and just keep inserting to every interview. Congratulations, because this is going to keep going on. I'm so excited to watch what's going to come out of Draganfly. In fact, we're going to be back on tomorrow with Phoebe, right? With another great innovation to talk about that.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait. Very innovative company that we've got to work with, and we've got some great stuff on the go with them, and we're honored to be working with them as well. And George, I really appreciate your insights as always, and thank you very much.
Yeah, man, and like I said, can't wait to see what you guys keep coming up with every week, every month for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
we're gonna look back on these interviews. We're gonna look back on these interviews. I don't want to say guarantee, but I'm very confident that at the end of this decade, we're going to look back at these interviews and say, remember when we were talking and we knew where all this was going to go, and look where we are, right? So
I kind of feel like it's, we're on our smartphones today, and it's like, remember when we had the BlackBerry and that was the best thing in the world? That's about the same spot that we're at. It is just the innovation and the impact that this industry is going to have across everything from weather predictability to search and rescue to home delivery, like you just name it, it will touch it. And it's a really exciting place to be. And so we really appreciate your support.
Thanks, Cam. And thank you for always taking the time to come on, because look, with all these things coming through your door, I'd imagine your day is spoken for all day long. There isn't a free minute. So the fact that you take out the time to speak to your investor, to speak to Agoracom, to really add context to the press releases and the kind of innovations you're coming out with is deeply appreciated, not by just me, but everybody at home who's watching and listening. And can't wait to have you back, my friend.
You're so gracious. Thanks, George. Have a great day.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform. To Cameron Shell, he's Chairman CEO of Draganfly. trades on the Nasdaq under the stock symbol DPRO, and for our friends in Canada on the CSC under DPRO as well. For those of you new to the store and you want to do your due diligence, 2 ways to do that. Get to the company's profile page on the Gorecom, because this is high tech. It's emerging. New stuff is happening all the time. But we've taken down the company's messaging down to very relatable, understandable terms, so you can get a good 1,000-foot view of the company. And then that'll supercharge your level 2 due diligence. Get over to draganfly.com to do your deep dive. If you believe where the drone industry is going, drone technology, drone solutions, the numbers don't lie. Look up the projections yourself on Google. The only question that you have to ask yourself is, how much of that growth is Draganfly going to participate in? We have a good idea, but we can't tell you. You've got to do your due diligence. Just don't say we didn't tell you so. Have a great day. See you next time.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.